And welcome to the stage, Congressman Colin Allred.
If you play to you late right there by your own kind. Pull up a four in the loco. Tell them run this bitch back like so-so. Got this rap shit here in the chokehold. Did a show out in Austin. Shout out to Bobo. Moved out
Good
the
evening.
Look how we live. Tell my BM to furnish the crib.
Good evening, Dallas County Democrats. I want to thank Chairman Coleman and y'all. Thank you so much for having me. I'm particularly proud to be with y'all this evening. I know there's a lot of fighters in this room. Fighters like me who are probably outraged at the betrayal of 8 Senate Democrats who just joined forces with Republicans, turning their backs on millions of Americans who were relying on them and on us to keep their health care costs from skyrocketing, including 4 million right here in Texas. Let's be very clear. The biggest divide in our party, as I see it, is not between moderates and progressives, or even old versus young. Between those who believe that the old, broken ways of doing things in Washington will still work, and those of us who have come to understand this moment in history demands more. More fight, more focus, more commitment to our values, and the dramatic reform to a corrupt system that we didn't build anyway. Because you can't tell people that you're going to be fighting for their health care and then just fold and say, well, Donald Trump promised us he would help us fix it later. The guy who is willing to let millions starve, because that's what happens when you cut SNAP benefits, we're going to trust him. The one who wants to build a ballroom, sipping champagne while working people are barely getting by, who just pardoned all the folks who tried to help him overturn the election in 2020, that can't be what we become. That's also why I ran for Congress in 2018 in the first place. Like many of us who stepped up that year, I wasn't a politician. I certainly wasn't planning on running at that stage of life when my wife and I were starting a family. I just ran to represent the place where I was born and raised, right here in Dallas, because I believed that the people who had given me a chance deserved to have better representation. Because when you grow up like I did, being raised by a single mom on a teacher's salary, you need a lot of help. And I got it. Here in Dallas, I had teachers and coaches who went way above and beyond for me. My high school coach, Coach Harris, texted me this morning, and I'm still a little bit afraid of him. I had folks at the YMCA where I went so much they let me come for free. And through all of the paths that my life has taken, from Baylor to the NFL, to becoming a civil rights lawyer, to serving President Obama, to serving in Congress, I've never forgotten the people that I came from. And I also haven't forgotten what my mom and I went through growing up and what working people are going through right now. I often think about my mom, who with all the best will in the world could not have come to a 2-hour town hall that I might have, or to an event like this. Because she was teaching during the day, and then she was a tutor in the evening, and then she had to watch me. She was too busy. But if we're to be the party of working people, then we have to go directly to working people. That's why I've been going to construction sites, and in restaurants, and working in grocery stores, and going to high school football games. And what I'm hearing is folks who are talking about a state and a country where everything seems like it's upside down. I've heard from the coffee shop owner in San Antonio about his daughter's epilepsy treatment that cost them $26,000 for one treatment. And he's struggling to provide health care for his employees. I've heard from the grandmother at Kroger in Houston who decorates the cakes there. If you ever go to Kroger, you buy a cake, they're making that day. And she can make a little flower out of icing in like 5 seconds. You wouldn't believe it. And I was talking to her about what she did. She told me she watches her grandson in the morning. She comes into work. Then she goes to pick him up. And I asked her if she would be able to retire anytime soon. And she said, no, I don't think that's on the cards for me. She's working 6 days a week. She's hoping to last as long as possible to get her grandson through school. I heard from teachers in the Valley that are saying that their students are having to take anti-anxiety medication because they're so worried about a family member or a loved one being taken by ICE while they're at school, that the kids are running around the playground shouting, la migra, to scare each other. That's the trauma that's being done to our children. And everywhere I go, and every story I've heard, I felt the inescapable truth that while we have so many challenges in front of us, there are so many heroes all around us. Every single day, ordinary folks are getting up working hard, taking their kids to school. They're doing the right things. They're living the right way. And they feel like no matter what they do, they just can't get ahead. They're one crisis away from a disaster, one mistake away from everything just falling apart. But they see on TV folks who are openly corrupt, who are cutting corners, who don't care about our country, and they're doing just fine. If you break the law in this administration, just make sure you break it to benefit Donald Trump. Then you'll get a pardon. It'll be okay. If you're a big company and you want to get a benefit, just donate to the ballroom. If you're a United States senator who's been in office for 30 years and you have nothing else to say but that you'll be the biggest bootlicker in the Senate, then that's what we're up against. It's a time like no other. On the other side, in the Republican elections, I watch it and I think, what's going on over there? All they're doing is running to impress one person. It's like a new reality TV show, America's Next Top Bootlicker. After all these years, John Cornyn is running ads right now saying, don't worry, I'm as big a bootlicker as you think I am. 99% of the time, I lick the boots. And don't get me started on Ken Paxton. He's like a comic book villain. His scandals have scandals. This man can't even go to a family reunion, much less the United States Senate. And I'm not even going to start in on Wesley Hunt. But the question shouldn't be, what are you going to do for one person? The question should be, what are you going to do for 30 million of us? And there's so much to do. We have to elect leaders who know that this is a rigged system and how to unrig it, and who have that experience. I don't have to read about what working people are going through. I lived it. I talk about down payment assistance for first-time home buyers because my mom rented a house here in Dallas for 20 years. She rented a house so she could send me to a good school for 20 years. And it wasn't until I got into the NFL that I helped her buy that house. She could afford the mortgage. She just couldn't afford the down payment. That's what folks are going through. That's why we need to have somebody make sure that we put in place policies to help folks get over that hurdle. I talk about health care because I haven't forgotten about the first public event I ever had. It was a coffee with Colin at a local coffee shop in my neighborhood. And a woman named Natalie Cortez came. She was a mother of two. She was working her way through stage 5 cancer. She had just come from a treatment. And she was there that day because she was worried that the Affordable Care Act was going to go away. And that future moms like her would not get the treatment that she was able to get because her goal was to beat cancer long enough so that her kids would know her. I think about Natalie all the time when we're talking about the Affordable Care Act, about pre-existing conditions and lifetime caps. There are real people behind these things. I talk about the cost of child care because my wife and I are certainly going through that right now, but also because pre-K and affordable child care is so important for working families. My mom used to leave me with any wise woman. If you were wise, you'd be like, you can watch him just for a little bit. But that's not the way that it should be. Kids should be able to be somewhere where they're safe and looked after, and it shouldn't break the backs of working families just to give their kids child care. That's not how it should be. Everything might seem upside down right now, but it doesn't have to be this way. We can change it together. Do you think we can change it? I think we can change it. Now, I want to finish by saying this. This is usually where I put my speech away. Because my sons are kind of funny. They like to collect rocks. And they bring them to me. They bring me rocks from school. And I think it started because I bought them a rock collection. And they thought, well, if Dad likes rocks, then we'll start bringing them even more rocks. And they asked me to carry 2 rocks with me everywhere I go. So on evenings like this where I'm not there for bedtime, they want to know that they're with me and that I'm with them. I carry these 2 rocks in my pocket everywhere I go. Every time I reach my hand into my pocket, I feel these 2 rocks. It reminds me of why I'm doing this, of why I believe in public service, why I believe in our democracy. Because when you're a parent, you can't leave the country to your children worse than you found it. We have a responsibility for our kids. We can't just say, oh, I'm sorry, honey, I couldn't fix it for you. And so now you got to live in a country you won't recognize. You could read in history books about when folks had freedoms in this country. Or you could read in the history books about when there wasn't just one person in charge. No, no, no. As a father, I can't accept that. I don't know what your 2 rocks are. But I want you to remember what got you involved in the first place. You didn't come here tonight to make money. You probably lost some. You didn't come here tonight, as my old coach used to say, to get your name in the paper. You didn't stand up and get involved because you thought that it was going to get you a lot of attention. You did it because you care. You care about your community, about your state, about your country, about the Constitution, about our values, about who we are, about what we should be doing, what we're not doing, what we can do. You care. And so I want to tell you, whatever that is, whatever your two rocks are in this election, don't forget it. Every time you feel when you're doom scrolling on your phone, remember why we're in this, and that together we can change it. I appreciate you for being still in this fight. There are many people who are afraid, but you are not. And we will not go silently into that dark night. We will not allow them to take us down that road. We will not do as John Lewis used to tell us, they're trying to take us to another time, another place. We're not going there. And when we win this election and in this time, in 20 years from now, when our kids ask us, Dad, what were you doing when all this was happening? The only answer that we can give is that we did every damn thing we could. Are y'all ready? Do every damn thing you can. Knock on every door you can. Make every phone call you can. Talk to every voter you can. Turn everybody out that you can. And then when it's over, we'll look back and say, I fought the good fight. God bless you. Thank you. Appreciate you.